Okay, that's good.
It's easier to
So,
eat every time you're up there.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to introduce myself. I'm Shannon Horton. I own a company called Happiness Matters. We teach happiness workshops, overcoming fear workshops to schools, organizations, and businesses. So I'm here today to speak to you about happiness and why it does matter. Okay? So, how many of you can really say you're really happy? Wow, there's not a lot of hands today. How many of you are 50% happy 50% of the time? Okay. So, I want to help you guys figure out how to be happier in your life. We have an epidemic in the world. It's not just in the United States, it's in the world. By 2020, the CDC predicts that depression is going to outpass cancer for the second leading cause of disability worldwide. We have an epidemic. We're not being told. We're being like zombies, saying it's acceptable to be miserable and unhappy. Is that cool? No. We're being conditioned by the TV that we're watching, by the movies we watch, by society, our community, to be unhappy, to be constantly chasing our tails. How many of us feel like we're chasing our tails in life, trying to get where we want to go, but we're not getting there? Okay. So I want to help you with that. Happier people are 31% more energetic. Jackie. She's a very energetic person, so if you need some happiness while you're here today, I'm not going to be here all day, I'm just speaking, go see Jackie. She will pump you up. Being happy decreases your chance for heart disease by 30%. That's huge. It decreases fatigue-related symptoms like headache, back pain by 23%. You have a 31% chance less of being depressed. Obviously, when you're happy, you cannot be depressed or in fear. Or if you're in gratitude, you cannot be in anger or fear. Did you know that? Your brain cannot do both of those at once. So you make better financial decisions when you're happier. You're more productive. You're 3 times more creative. There's a lot of benefits. Plus, your health benefits. Happiness all around. You're not diseaseful with life. Have you heard that disease means you're diseaseful in one or more parts of your life? Has anybody heard that? So our mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness is the foundation for lasting physical wellness. And it's very important. If you want lasting physical health, you have to address mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of yourself first. Because that's what's going to give you the drive and the motivation to constantly work out and eat right, meditate, do all your tools that you use to keep centered in this life. So, our state of being, does anybody know what our state of being? When someone asks you, how are you doing today? And you say, oh, I'm okay. That's your state of being, okay? Our state of being comes from thoughts that trigger emotions. Okay? So those thoughts that trigger emotions are very powerful. So if you have happy thoughts that are keeping you in a high state of being, that's where you attract these miracles that happen all the time. That's where you attract opportunity. You see opportunity better when you're in that paradigm, when you're in that state of awareness. When you're in a depressed state of awareness, your state of being is very, your aura is not even extending outside your body. When you're in a fear, your aura does not extend outside your body, okay? So when you're happy, your aura, and when you have all those loving feelings, your aura will probably extend even past some of those cars and tents back there. So do you see where the law of attraction comes into play? When you're in a happier state, you attract all the things that you are trying to attract and manifest in life? Okay, it's the law of vibration. It's really not the law of attraction. The law of vibration is the first law underneath that. And so we want to increase your state of being, which starts in your mind, okay, your perceptions, how you participate in this life, how you act, how you react, how you believe. That's where it has to change from. It's not education all the time. It's not just reading books, it's not just meditating, it's changing how you see the world into more of a loving state versus a fear state. And fear is the anger falls under fear. Insecurity falls under fear. So it's either love or fear. There's the two vibrations that or thoughts we operate from, emotions. So Joe Vitale says, it's not what happens that matters. It's the meaning that we give it that matters. So based on your perception of life, so let's say you got a flat tire coming here. How many of you would have gotten so upset you would have let it control the rest of your day? Be honest. Okay, so that one event could have controlled the rest of your day to make it miserable. Is it really worth it? Is that one event? Because the universe works out in our favor. Everything works out in our favor. You do not know why that flat tire was there, but it was a message for something. Maybe Tom Cruise drove by and helped you change your tire. Would that have been a blessing for some of you? Right? Yeah. Or a famous musician, or someone really cool that was there to change your life. You never know why an event happens. So if you look at life in that way, okay, this kind of sucks, but I'm not going to let it choose to take I'm not going to choose to let it take my happiness, because happiness is a choice. Choosing to not be happy is a choice. Making no choice at all is still a choice. So you're going to say to those events, okay, this sucks, but I'm going to choose to be happy no matter what. Okay? So can you do that? Can you start changing how you look at things and start saying, what is the blessing in this? Instead of saying, wow, this really sucks, I shouldn't have got out of bed today. Okay? Because it's very important. It's very important that we see things in the true way versus seeing them in that old behavioral system that we developed as children. We were trained by our schools, by our friends, by our parents on how we perceive the world. And when we're from birth to 5 years old, we're in theta state. Does anybody know what theta state is? Well, theta state is that one of the deep meditative states. There's delta, which is deep sleep state, and then there's gamma. That's where those Buddhist monks that have been meditating for thousands and thousands of hours, they reach that high consciousness state, which is gamma. Okay. Theta is one of those states where we're just observing everything, taking everything in like a sponge for 5 years when we're little. That means everything that our parents believe, we hear everything that they say, we start picking up subconscious beliefs. Some scientists are even proving we're picking it up in the womb of our mother. The womb. We were picking up our mom's dysfunctional belief systems. That's pretty bad, and it's pretty powerful, right? So it's in our DNA. We have hereditary traits from our ancestors, our grandparents. Science is now proving that trauma that our great-grandparents or our grandparents experienced, let's say anybody who was in the Holocaust, anybody who was in a war, that DNA gets altered with that trauma, is passed down from generation to generation. So each of you, if your grandparents or great-grandparents or even your parents had a lot of trauma in their lives, guess what? You're holding possible mutated DNA from that trauma. And it turns into cancer, it turns into rare diseases, it turns into depression, all those, those susceptibilities that we have. The good news is, there's always a positive, that science has now proven that Qigong, Tai Chi, meditation, mindfulness, like Paul is going to present and being present, that changes the DNA back to its healthy state. When you commit to do these practices, even yoga, breath work, chanting, those practices actually heal those DNA that have been altered. Okay? That's exciting, right? Science is amazing. Okay? I love science. Because they have all these really amazing, they're starting to prove things that cultures knew 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago. All these ancient knowledges, science is now proving exist. Acupuncture, meridians and points, nadis, chakras, the energy body, Kirlian photography. Science is now proving that in the last 100 years. How amazing is that? These people knew over 5,000 years ago. Because Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, they will say it's 3,000 years old, but it's really, I've heard many sources say it's really over 5,000 years old. Okay? They saw things. In India, the sages there, that they would prescribe Sanskrit mantra. Sanskrit. Who chants here? Jackie? Okay. I'm a big believer in chanting. It will change your life because it bypasses the conscious mind or the subconscious mind. You can't. The Sanskrit doesn't have a meaning-based language. It's not a meaning-based language first. That's like third. It's a vibrational-based language. So it will surpass all those subconscious beliefs and start healing them. Okay. So just chanting even the seed sounds like ah and om. Vam, lam, yam, those type of sounds will help. Any type of Sanskrit mantra like Om Shrim, Maha, let's see, Om Shrim Maha, Lakshmiye Swaha, so something like that will change the vibration of your cellular being, your spiritual being, and your mental being, okay? And it will help change your life. So if affirmations aren't working for you, and we'll go over that in a little bit, try chanting a little bit as well. Find a chant that resonates with you. Even if it's just ah. Sound ah opens your heart and connects you to spirit, okay? So ah will just like radiate that heart energy out. You want to manifest great things in your life, chant every morning for 3 minutes to sound ah. See what happens, okay? So chanting, because Sanskrit is a vibrational language, it was designed, these sages could see what mantra these people needed to heal their lives. And they would show, they would take note of what was happening in their lives. They could see it in the aura. They could see the colors changing in the aura, not just by what they were telling them, okay? It was really cool. So that's another avenue. Now, I'm going to talk about affirmations. How many people use affirmations here? How many of you are frustrated because your affirmations are not working? Or you feel like you're hitting a wall. You're like, well, I'm just going to keep standing there and go dunk, dunk, right? Well, I want to tell you the secret of affirmation. So let's say you have this ultimate goal here, right? And you're saying the affirmation for that goal. Well, I want to tell you something about the brain. The subconscious brain is 1,000 times more powerful than the conscious brain. We operate in our daily lives. 95% of our time, our behaviors, our thoughts, our perceptions, our participation in the world comes from the subconscious brain. It will always win. The conscious brain is only responsible for 5% of our reality and how we participate in the world. Who knew that? Very good. Are you a neuroscientist?
I studied undergraduate.
Oh, okay. So you understand what I'm talking about. Am I lying to any of you about any of this?
No.
No.
I mean, all the conscious mind, subconscious mind stuff is really interesting. Thinking fast and slow, really proving all of those stuff that you're saying.
Yes, it's amazing. Neuroscience is pretty cool. So this is the thing. It has to resonate. If your subconscious mind does not believe that affirmation, it's going to take years for that to happen, okay? So what do you have to do? You have to find an affirmation that resembles that affirmation, but your body you resonate with to get you to that higher affirmation. Does that make sense? So if you say, I'm a millionaire, but your subconscious says, I have $5 in my checking account, you're crazy, right? So is it going to be hard to manifest that? Exactly, okay? So what could you say? You could say, life is easy. That could be one of the affirmations to start out from. Life is easy. And then if you say, hey, I resonate with that, you say that over and over and over. I do this. I record it on a digital voice recorder. I record all my affirmations that resonate. I loop them through Audacity on the computer. I burn them to a CD, and I sleep with them at night. So my voice is going into my subconscious brain while I'm sleeping, all those new thoughts and beliefs. Okay, you could do it on your smartphones. I don't know how to do it on my smartphone, but all you whizzes out there, I bet you can. Or your Mac computers, however you want to do it. But that's another way. There are subliminal programming out there like Mind Movies, Subliminal 360, where they're on in the background of your computer, going all the time while you're doing work. And you're just reprogramming all that awful programming sometimes that we got from our parents and our peers when we were young. Okay, so that's one way. So that's why affirmations aren't working, because if you can even feel it. How many of you are sensitive to energy? Very aware. Okay, so can someone give me an affirmation they've been saying that hasn't been working for them? Jackie, do you know which one hasn't been working for you?
Probably, I command my subconscious mind to continuously provide me healthy opportunities to support the belief system that I'm a millionaire. It's
Okay.
too long.
It's too long. It's too long.
It out, but
Okay. So with that, when you say that, how does your body feel? Are you feeling
like long-winded or defeated feeling?
long-winded and defeated? So and it's saying, well, I already shut you off after 3 words, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that affirmation's not working for you. So if I say life is easy, how does that feel to you?
Much faster.
Much faster, and does your body like say,
It feels lighter.
it feels lighter? Okay. So when you hear a truth, you will feel lighter. Your body response will feel lighter. It's kinesiology, okay? Our bodies know when we resonate with something, when we don't resonate with something. If something is not good for us, or it's false, we believe it's false, we will feel heavy. We will be repulsed by it, okay? So how many are aware of that? How many have figured that out in life that,
Just give it.
okay. You know, we get that in our gut, right? This doesn't feel right. So pay attention to that. If your affirmation, you'll feel heavy if you're not believing it, okay? Then you know, oh, I got to change it. I got to change it to something with that goal. You know, that's along the lines of that goal. And then you keep changing over maybe every 2 weeks a new affirmation to reach that goal to that affirmation. Okay? Baby steps, right? These big goals that we have sometimes take a while to manifest, right? Especially if we have self-defeating subconscious beliefs. So we have to stop beating ourselves up. Well, it's been 2 days, I still haven't manifested the lottery, right? We gotta give ourselves a little credit and stop beating ourselves up, okay? It's very important, because what does that do to our state of being when we're hard on ourselves? Anyone? It's stress. And stress is a fight or flight response system. It is not good. How many of you are in a constant fight or flight response every day of your lives? Like where you're worried about money, worried about your job, worrying about getting here on time, worrying about school, worrying about how you're going to tell something to someone, or even like crazy things that aren't even going to happen. How many of you are always in fight or flight somewhere in your day? Okay? Fight or flight is not good to be in 24/7. It's designed to run from a tiger or a bear or a wolf or a coyote that's coming after you, or someone who's trying to rob you or hurt you. It's designed to release those hormones so you have adrenaline, epinephrine, all those things coursing through your veins to survive. Okay? It triggers survival. So when you have these hormones, so anger, fear, anxiety, all stress, all that produces the same hormones as if you're being held up at gunpoint. And what does it do to your body over time? It reduces your immune response. You get sick easier. How many of you have gotten sick after having upsetting news like a cold or a fight with a boyfriend or a friend? Because your immune system was reduced, it produced grief and sadness, and guess what? Cold set in. Okay? It's very powerful when you're in that constant fight or flight. So when you learn how to get out of fight or flight, which Paul will help you after I'm done speaking, it will help build your immune response. You won't get sick as easy. Happier people are sick less. They take less time off work. Okay? They know how to deal with life stress. They have coping mechanisms and emotional intelligence to deal with life. Okay? So and even after long periods of time, stress has been linked to cancer, heart disease, diabetes, all that. And then we eat not very well sometimes, okay? Which, another whammy on top of that, then we even get sicker. More and more people are sick, okay? So we have to take good care of our body through diet, good fats. You know, I remember in the 80s, I'm telling you how old I am. I was in grade school. I'm really 25, just kidding. A child prodigy at one, right? I remember the food pyramid. How many? Did you guys learn that in
Yes.
school? Okay.
That's totally shit.
So the FDA told. I remember this in the 80s when they were saying butter is bad for you. Do not eat olive oil. Do not eat any fats. Put margarine in your body, which we all know now turns to plastic. Okay. Fats are essential. How many of you have a relative that has dementia or Alzheimer's? Bad news, people. They predict by 2025, 40% increase in those cases. That's insane. You want to know why? Not just because of the chemicals in our food and the aluminum and heavy metals, but we're not eating fats. Our bodies need fats. We need good fats. It turns into ketones, which is brain food. We are shrinking our brains. We are shrinking our brains by not eating good organic butter, not eating coconut oil, not eating flax oil, not eating olive oil. Do not pay attention to the FDA. They are causing you to dumb down your brain, okay? Nuts, seeds, they're very, very, very important for your health. Not only just skin health, joint health, your heart health, but your brain health, okay? You can reverse your chances of having dementia and Alzheimer's by doing that. All right, get enough vitamin B, vitamin D3, and vitamin C. They're all very, 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 very extremely important to brain health. And important for emotional health, okay? Because they help those neural pathways. The happy neural pathways, right, in the brain. So some scientific research, it only takes less than 30 seconds of thinking a negative thought to create a new neural pathway in the brain. Less than 30 seconds, people. That's pretty scary. How many people find it easy to think about negative things for longer than 30 seconds? We are wired. I want you to know our brains are wired for survival. So it's easy for us to focus on the negative. We have to train ourselves to focus on the positive. So the longer you hold positive thoughts of what you want to achieve, holding the vision of the goal you want to achieve, the better chances you're going to achieve that. It's going to give you that positive state of being. And the key of manifesting is actually having that emotion behind it, that excitement, and just say, I use my little mini trampoline at home for my goals. And I jump up and down, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I do that because I'm like a little kid. But that's how you get your state of being up to match the vibration level of what you want to create, okay? You gotta fake it till you make it sometimes. And if you have to use a mini trampoline or some music, an iPod, playlist, whatever you gotta do, you just gotta do it, right? And that's the state of being happy, okay? So also, for every negative thought you have, it takes 4 positive thoughts to counteract that negative thought. So wouldn't it be easier to just kind of bye-bye negative thoughts? Let's think something positive. Let's focus on what we really want to create in our life. It'd be a lot easier for me. I also tell my clients, I'm a personal coach. I'm an intuitive coach. And I tell them, if every thought you thought came true immediately, would you think it? Exactly. So we got to be aware of where it's coming from, okay? That's so important, so important. Because that's the only way we're going to stop and start reprogramming these belief systems as well, okay? So, any questions real quick before I go on? No? Okay. I have a great audience. You guys are awesome. So, another thing, how many of you think that you could control other people and everything in life? How many of you have control issues? I do sometimes. I'll admit it. We can't control ourselves. We can't control kids, no matter how hard you want to try to control them. You can't control them. You can't control your partner. You can't control your bus driver. You can't control everything in life. That's you control how you think, how you perceive, how you act, react, the words you say. Your state of being. That's what you control. So if you could just surrender the rest and say, I intend good things, and just allow it to go to His Great Spirit, God, however you want to call it, the universe, the better you will be. You'll be more peaceful. Are you in a state of peace when you're trying to control? No, I know I'm not. Okay? So another pretty cool thing about the brain. So I'm trying to give you scientific research in order for you to get it so that you start paying attention, okay? And this is a great atmosphere out here for you guys to start putting into practice and get away from your normal day lives, everyday lives, be with great people, out in nature, grounding yourself in. So the brain cannot differentiate from, imaginary experience and actual experience. Okay, it cannot. If you put your hand here, it sees your hand. If you close your eyes and visualize that hand, it cannot differentiate between the two. What's actual and imaginary. Did you know that? Okay, it's not so smart really, is it? Consciousness, no, that's different. So, when you remember a good memory, your body's experiencing that memory, like as if it's happening to you now. Same as a traumatic memory. The more you focus on that traumatic memory, the more your body feels that fight or flight and that trauma with those visions or that emotional state, okay? So there's something else. We're all connected by these things called mirror neurons in the brain. It's a Wi-Fi system for humans. It's pretty cool, right? So we pick up on the energy. That's where empathics come in. We are empathic. We pick up on everybody's energy. We're interconnected. It's quantum physics, okay? So we're so connected that we, in someone else's energy field, we can pick up and start becoming, if their emotion or state of being is stronger, it can kind of overpower our emotional state of being. How many has that happened to where you walk into a room and you're like, oh, I wasn't feeling this way before. I'm feeling kind of funky. And you can't figure out if it's you or what's going on. It's the mirror neurons all resonating. Environment is stronger than will. If you do not surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that environment is going to suck you in unless you're stronger, unless you keep pulling yourself out, okay? And that's the beauty. If you are stronger in your will, the people around you will start healing too, okay? Very important, very, very important. So also these mirror neurons, when we see someone smile, or before they even smile, before our eyes even sees it, we're releasing dopamine, okay? So your brain cannot even differentiate thoughts for someone else or yourself. The brain cannot. So any negative thought you're thinking of someone else, guess what? You're thinking it towards yourself. Your body is experiencing it first. Now consciousness is different. The brain is different. Consciousness, they've done studies where they've put a person in another room and another person in a room far away, and they have no connection at all, no monitors, nothing. And that one person is told to focus and send good thoughts to the other person. That other person's your body is actually, an energy is responding to those thoughts. That is consciousness. It's difference. Okay? How powerful is that? That's those mirror neurons working. Okay? The Wi-Fi system. So when we have healthy, now it doesn't mean if we have unhealthy thoughts we're experiencing them too, but you are sending that energy through consciousness to other people. So we've got to be very careful, right? But we're sending it to ourselves too. Do we want to do that? No. I don't want to do that to myself. So with that, I'm going to do 2 exercises. Okay? So Gandhi, before I start the one exercise, Gandhi stated that happiness is when your thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment. Think about that. How many of you are always in alignment with your thoughts, words, and actions? How many of us were trained by watching our parents that because their energy did not match their words, that we were trained to kind of lie, to not try to hurt people's feelings? Sorta, kind of. My parents did it. And kids are so intuitive. They know when your energy does not match your words. Most adults can too. If you're intuitive, if you're very spiritual, you can tell when someone's not in alignment with their words, right? Something's off. It's very important for our energy and our words and our thoughts to be in alignment, because we're not only being lying to ourselves, we're not being honest, we're hurting them too, okay? And we're teaching little ones to do the same thing. If we could stop that we have an opportunity for these little generations to be whole different people, okay? To actually stand firm and being who they are, honoring their thoughts, words, and actions all in one. So, I want everybody to just think of their greatest fear, their top fear, okay? Close your eyes, take a deep breath. I just want you to objectively, I don't want you to get all emotional with it. I just want you to know what your top fear is. Close your eyes. And I want you to start sensing it where it's at in your body. And as you know where it's at, I want you to start pushing it outside of you. Just push it outside of your body. Keep pushing it out. Push it so far out where it's really not connected to you anymore. Give you a minute or two to do that. Remember, you're just an observer while you're doing this. You're not being triggered by that fear. You're safe and secure. Just push it outside. Once it's outside of you, I want you to ask it. Really ask yourself, is that fear really valid? Is it really true? Is it really going to happen? I want you to be able to just release it and let it go, because if that fear isn't truth for you, it's just hindering you from being your greatness. It's not real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, how many of you realized your fear wasn't valid? Felt it wasn't valid? Did any of you feel like it is valid? Okay, we'll work on that on the next exercise. Because sometimes the fears are so real that we can't get past them. But when you did that exercise and pushed it outside of you, those who realized it was never going to happen, it was really not real, how do you feel now? Better? Empowered? Feeling like that was so silly to give all that energy to that, right? Okay. So, next, with that, if you guys want to work on the same fear, you can. I want you to think of the belief system that is underneath that fear, the fear that you used. Just take a moment to think of the belief system that is underneath that fear. Some people, it's like, I don't have value. I don't have worth. I can't do anything right. There's a lot of weird belief systems that we develop as children that aren't healthy for us. But we have to gain a different perspective so we can let that go. Okay? So, does everybody have the belief system that's behind their fear? You guys could just nod your heads so I kind of know, sort of. Okay. So, I want you to just kind of close your eyes. Some people are better with closing their eyes. And I want you to ask that belief system to show you where it came from in this life. What age were you? Do you see a scenario? Do you see your parents? Do you see school? Whatever it is, I want you to ask that belief system to show you the moment you encapsulized and believed that belief. Or just the age. It doesn't have to be much detail. So with that, I want you to step back and be objective. Objective means an observer. And does that belief really fit with what happened? Can you change the perspective of what happened at that age? Can you change it to see, well, maybe this isn't true. I can see how I developed that belief system, but it's not true. And what's the positive belief system that you would like to put in its place? what is the opposite, the most positive belief system you would like to put in its place? And put it in its place. And that truth, that positive belief should make you feel like you're soaring, that you're light and free. Because that previous belief, I'm sure, was making you feel heavy and stuck like an anchor in quicksand. So that new positive belief that you're coming up with, that is like your new mantra. That is a new affirmation for you. Okay? So, does anybody want to share what their belief was? And any experience with that? Okay.
I guess my fear is being like, not being able to be successful in what I really want to do as a career path or with just my life.
Okay.
And I see that stemming definitely, I think from my parents' generation, you know, get a 9-to-5 job and, you know, you want to go to school to get a career and then that's how you're going to support your family. And, you know, I changed it into like, you know, you can do whatever you want. Anything is possible. You know, they tell you when you're young, but I think, you know, it's kind of not what they're really saying. Like, you can be anything you want to be. But
Yes, and it's true. You could be anything. When your state of being is in alignment with your calling, you could do anything. And so when you changed it to anything, I could be whatever I want. This is my calling. How did that make you feel?
really good.
Made you feel good.
Yeah.
I want you to understand, our family and friends love us. But sometimes they cannot understand what our calling is. And because they're afraid for us, they don't want us to fall and burn and crash and burn, they want to protect us, they're actually doing a disservice for us when they are gearing us to go away from our dream. Does that make sense? So don't be angry at them. You're really angry at yourself when you allow them to deter you from your dream and your calling because you believe them. But I'm telling you, parents don't always know everything. They're figuring it out as they go along too, right? I realized that when I was about 30. I was like, wow, this is crazy. You know, because I idolized my parents. I want to be like my parents, right? But it was not in alignment with who I was. Not at all. And I struggled. And I was unhappy. I was sick all the time. And I said, you know what, I'm moving to Arizona. I have $800 in my pocket. And I'm moving to Arizona. I packed up my car, my poor cat, you know, stuffed in the car with a bunch of stuff, bike on the back, and I moved out here. Best decision of my life. It was tough. It was after 9/11. It was in 2002. I couldn't find a job. I was in school. I hit rock bottom. But you know what? I was still happy. I was away from Ohio. Oh my God. I cringe going back to Ohio. I get off the plane. I'm like, oh my, the consciousness here. It hits me like a brick wall. How many of you are from the Midwest? And when you go back home, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Ohio.
Ohio. I'm telling you, the conservative, like, it's just like, I left Ohio. I'm telling you, I was getting so sick in Ohio. I was 28 years old. And I was having back problems. I was a gymnast. I was very athletic. I was a very healthy person. I couldn't stand up. I'd bend over and I could not stand up. I was having one illness after the other. And I knew if I did not leave Ohio out of, like, just take a leap, that I would die. I would die young. I knew it. I knew it would kill me because they did not believe in who I was. My family could not believe in my calling. And you know what? Some of them still don't. And it's okay. It's okay, they don't support me. But that's why I have this wonderful man back here. He's taking pictures for me. Who does support me. I have clients that adore me and love me. And they support me. And I have friends that are making networks. They support me, teachers. Okay? So find your group of people that support you and love you and have that vision for you and will root you on and say, you know what, I don't know what's in store for you, but I believe in you and I know you can do it. Surround yourself with those people because that's one of the keys to being happy. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book is great, It talks about mastermind groups. You want to find your mastermind because those are the people you want to lean on when your other environment is pulling you down. Okay? You can still love your family and your friends, the naysayers. But you know what? Put them in their perspective because you know what? I guarantee you they didn't follow their dreams either. That they are living imposed values. They became an engineer because their parents were engineers. They went into the army because their dad and grandfather were in the army. They repeated a pattern, but if you ask them what they really wanted to do, they may not know. Or they may say, you know, I wanted to be a musician, right? Or I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I wanted to do this, but my parents told me to get a 9-to-5 job, and that's what happened. You know, yeah, Mike, he didn't follow his dad's footsteps, which is good. I'm very proud of him. He didn't become a plumber like his dad. You know, he's happier for that too. Okay? So live your dream. That's the true thing of being in your happiness. So before I leave you, because I think it's getting time, almost 11:50. Yep. Good. So smiling. It's something about smiling. I want you to know when someone smiles at you and you smile at them, it releases dopamine. Happy chemicals. Woo! Are we happy about happy chemicals? Yes, we are. Because that means we don't have to use mind-altering things like alcohol and that, which really depresses you in the end. You actually get hit later. Sugar. Oh my gosh, sugar is a legal addictive stimulant, people. It is bad for you. High fructose corn syrup, bad for you. It works the same neural pathways as heroin. It's more addictive than heroin. Get off the sugar, okay? Because what happens, you get a real big high and then you go, okay? And not only does it do that, it creates this around the belly, okay? Causes inflammation. Inflammation causes disease, all right? So, you know what works the same neural pathway as drugs and sugar? Doing good deeds for each other. Being in gratitude. Smiling. Okay? Choosing happiness. Choosing to make lemonade out of lemons. My grandmother would say that all the time. And I'm telling you, she was the nicest woman. She never spoke an ill word about anyone. I never heard my grandmother. Do you know what happened to her? She died from liver cancer. She held that all in. She never vented or anything and ate away at her liver. You hold anger in your liver and frustration and irritation. She never would say one bad thing, and she would always try to think good things about people. But get it out. You know, if you have to write it in a diary just to get it out, whatever, you know, because usually we're angry at ourselves because we're not in alignment with something, because something's happening, or we didn't honor ourselves, we didn't honor our boundaries, we didn't honor our values. And that's another subject, values, but if you come to some of my workshops, you'll learn about values and finding what your real values are. Or I will do something special for each one of you that are here. That's what I'll do. I have business cards over here. If you email me, I will send you the values exercise I do in my workshops. And you can find what your top 3 values are, because you want to live your major life decisions on those values. Okay? It's people give me the cringy face when I say, because it says pick your 9 values, and then you have to scratch off 3, and then 3 more, and they're like, I'm disrespecting those values. I mean, they act like I'm asking them to murder someone. But I said, no, but you have to live your values, to your life's decisions based off of these 3 values. Okay? It's very important. If you don't, you're not going to be in alignment, you're going to be angry and frustrated. Okay? So pick up a business card and email me to either email, and I will send you the values. Say, hey Shannon, I watched you speak at the Good Vibes Get Down. I want the values exercise. Okay? So your homework for the rest of your life is to make 3 intentional smiles every day to someone new. You never know, that smile may be the difference they needed to change their life. I make an intention additional with smiling. Whenever I go to a store, I read that person's name tag, and I use their name over and over because they matter. They have value. Each one of you has value. Each one of you is here for a reason to do something special. Honor it. Follow your hearts. Take the leap. Commit to it. Whether you have the resources or the money, just do it. Because you know what? Once you commit to the what, the how starts appearing. Okay? I'm telling you, it happened for me, and it can happen for you. Okay? So thank you for being such a great audience and participating.
Woohoo!